Today, I'm going to show you how to make Harry Potter lightning bolt plushes. I have two different designs because there's multiple variations of his card. Let's get started. So you start with your pattern. I will have these available in a link in the description. You'll need your fabric of choice. I'm just using a fleece fabric. You can use felt, you can use flannel, and even cotton if you like. And what you're going to do is you're going to put your pattern on your paper, trace around it. And when you cut it out, you're going to want to leave about a 1/4 inch seam allowance. When you got scraps like these, don't throw them away. You can definitely use them in your dog toys. If you want to make something else that has small details, you can just reuse it. And then once you're done cutting it, we have 2 layers, and these are the right sides. You can tell what's the right side with fleece is when you pull it, it bends to the wrong side. At this point, you're going to pin your pieces together. If you don't have a sewing machine, you can definitely hand stitch this, glue it if you'd like. Just want to pin these together so they don't shift around while you're sewing. When you get to the top of the lightning bolt, this is where we're going to flip it. So you're not going to sew this section. What you want to do to make sure, to remind yourself, put 2 pins really close together so you know that you're not sewing on this side. You're going to come over to your sewing machine and you can sew this together just using a straight stitch. You don't have to worry, even though this fabric stretches a little, it's not going to rip your stitches. And then you're just going to start sewing. Make sure you back stitch at the beginning of your stitch. And just follow that line you traced onto your fabric. Now you're going to take the pattern that you just sewed and you're going to clip the corners. This will give you sharper points and create less bulk. Next, you're going to take one of your patterns and you're going to start flipping it right side out. It's going to look like that at first, but you can take a chopstick, your scissors, and just start poking out the edges. Once you have your lightning bolts flipped right side out, you're going to take some stuffing. Oh look, it's clouds and lightning bolts, whoa! And you're going to start, if you don't have stuffing, you can also use the scrap fabric that you had from the project earlier. And you're just going to have to get your hand in here. It's hard to get stuffing down in these little points, so what I do is I take little clippings of the fabric I had used and I stuff them all the way down into the corner. And you do that to like about this point, and then you should be fine filling out the rest of it. Once you're done stuffing it, we got to seal up this opening. So what you're going to do is get a needle and thread, tie a knot at the end, and we're going to do a ladder stitch. I'll add a link in the description of a ladder stitch that goes more in depth. But basically you want to start on the inside of the fabric, so that way you hide your knot, and then you're going to go across. You're going to start on the top, put your needle in, grab some fabric, and pull it back out on that side. Pull all the thread, pull it tight, and then you're going to go across and do the same exact thing. And you're going to keep doing this until the entire hole is stitched up. This is an invisible stitch, so that way when it's all done you're not going to see any stitch work. If you want, you could just fold in your seam allowance and go to your sewing machine. But since it's a little bulky, since we stuffed it, it'll be a little more difficult to get it under there, and you'll also have a seam if you do that. You can do these a little closer and it'll be less obvious. Once you get to the end, you're going to thread it again, and you're going to create a knot. Do that twice to make sure it's extra secure. And then what I like to do is I just like running the thread back through the plush. Well, I hope you enjoyed this Harry Potter lightning bolt tutorial, and if you make one yourself, go ahead and share it with me on social media. If you like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up, and if you want to see more of my videos, go ahead and subscribe. If there's something you'd like me to make, leave me a comment down below.